Alright y'all, so in this video, I've just been doing some thinking, particularly just within the black community and within our culture. Just as times has evolved, just been wondering what happened to the black culture? Like what happened to the upstart, the professionalism of black culture? What happened to the era when men used to walk around in suits and when things like professionalism was held to a higher standard, but instead we went from the era of the civil rights movement where men and women walked around in suits and dresses now to dudes sagging their pants and thinking that that's socially okay, and they don't even understand the historical context of what sagging means. And we see this a lot between like the kids in grade school and then also within adults, and they might not even know what the historical context of what sagging originated from, or even like some people who do know where sagging originated from, but they're like, oh, it's okay and I know what it means, but I'm still gonna do it. It's just like, what happened? I just want to go over like some things that's within the black community that needs to be fixed, because it's honestly really messed up and we as a community need to change it before it's too late. And we've honestly gone a while without talking about it, so I think it needs to be addressed. So what's good, y'all? It's your boy D-Lou, back at it again with another banger video. In this video, I want to talk about topics or different hot takes within the black community that I think needs to stop now, and it needs to be addressed, and we need to be held accountable for it. But before we do a deep dive into this video, y'all already know the deal, y'all know the vibes. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to share this video with a friend so that we may continue to grow into the people that God wants us to be each and every day. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's get it, gang. Alright, so topics and things that are within the black community that personally I don't agree with, and I think the culture has gotten too far with. So I think the first one, at least this is just my opinion, and if you have any opinions in your mind, let me know what you guys think. But the first one within my mind is that whole beat a child until they're black and blue. I think that that's not acceptable within the black community, or just not within the community in general, because that whole, beat them until like they're black and blue, and just even the concept of like beating them, it just doesn't stick right with me. And I know that that's a biblical principle and everything where it says spare the rod, not the child, but the aspect where you're beating them until like there's literal blue spots kind of just irks me in a way. Like, I know there's such a thing as like correction and discipline, but you don't need to do it to where like you're constantly just getting in there and just tearing them up so bad, into like where you leave like marks where they look like a runaway slave, or to so much where they're disfigured and discolored, Like, I think that that's not cool within our culture and within our community and our parenting styles. And we know they'll be like but some parents and some people will be like, oh well, you're better off because I did that to you, or they'll be like, it's gonna hurt me more than I hurt you. But I'm calling your bluff on that, because how can you say, oh, this is gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you, when you're inflicting the damage onto them and you don't know what type of emotional scarring that you're doing. And then I heard like a recent hot take on this where it's just like, oh, like, like how are you gonna tell a child like, oh, I'm beating you, or like I'm doing this because I love you, and then they get beat, and then you're reinforcing it with love. You're kind of sending mixed signals to the child to where it's just like, okay, like I did something wrong, I'm getting beat and then getting told I love you. Like, now that I'm older and that I'm thinking about it, it legitimately, to me, like, it still doesn't make sense, because it's just like you're sending two conflicting messages. Like, I think there's a different way to where you can discipline and understand like you're teaching and correcting your child, and like not tearing it up and like beating them to the black and blue. I think we can do better than that as a community and as a society. And I think there's ways that we can grow about that. I don't have all the solutions, but I'd love to know what you guys' solutions are. So that's number one. Number two, promoting promiscuity and drug and hip hop, and like, just drug and hip hop, and like just gang culture. I think that that's really like a hindrance within the black community because these things are being popularized and idolized amongst our youth and amongst like, you know, our teenagers and even just young adults where it's just like, oh, that's who I want to be when I want to grow up. I want to be a baller. I want to be a gangbanger. You know, I want to be someone who runs the streets. I want to be a 304. And it's just like, no, these aren't the role models who we should be idolizing or like, you know, promoting within our community as a whole. It's just like what happened to the era where like, you know, when people wanted to be like, oh, I want to be like Dr. Martin Luther King. I want to be like Jesse Owens. I wanted to be like Oprah Winfrey. I wanted to be like Tyra Banks or Michelle Obama or Barack Obama. What happened to that era of just black professionalism where we had black models and icons that we wanted to look up to who were doing things in a professional light instead of just resorting like, oh, I want to be like Sexy Red when I grow up, or I want to be like, you know, like the gangbangers around the neighborhood and be like them because fast money is good money. And it's just like, nah, fast money isn't always good money. And fast money isn't good money in general. That's not a good practice. And I think this is more something to like deep dive in because it's just like promoting that when, and like it's going so far, like where it's going into our music where, think about it, our rap music that we promote right now, what does it mostly talk about? It mostly talks about killing people and offing them and promoting sexual immorality and like 304 culture and just, you know, doing everything for the bag. And it's not talking about like good, honest messages and like, you know, ethical and moral values. Like the music that we have now within our culture, within 2025, it's honestly degrading. And like I see why some people are just like, music just isn't the same as it is. Like what happened to can we talk for a minute? Girl, I want to know your name. Or just that music, you know? Or just talking about 1 in a million where your love is 1 in a million and I want to be down with you. But instead it's just like, oh, if he ain't got money, dump him. Or, oh, I mess with one girl, I dump him, I have a side one on my sideline and stuff like that. Like that's just not cool. And sure, like, you know, it may be the hip thing to do, and like that's often why, like, you know, our young folks, they're so impressionable because it's like, oh, it's hip and it's cool, and if I don't like it, then I won't be cool. But it's just like we gotta find a new method, a new outlook of like finding the new things that are cool to promote to our young children to be like, hey, that's not cool, this life not cool, but you know, being an upstand up guy or a stand-up woman, that's what's cool. You know, having self-respect, having morals and values and integrity and wanting to do something with your life rather than just rip and run in the streets or just be about ballers and be about like wanting to just chase the bag and be about money and everything. Like, no, like let's give our community something else to look at and strive for and something for our youth to strive for, because right now our youth, looking at what we're looking at, the icons that they have is not really good and impressionable. Because I want to be someone someday that where like our youth can look at us and be like, oh, I want to be like D. Luke when I grow up. Like I want to impart wisdom and knowledge just how he imparts wisdom and knowledge to you guys, you know? So I think that's number 2 where I think things need to change within the black community. Number 3, that whole, oh, when you're 18, they need to move out. Like, let's be real, y'all. Like even now, like once you're 18 and like you go off to college and you finish high school, or like you finish high school and then there's like you either go off to college or you go off to military or you like go to a trade or something, but it's just like after that you need to get up out of my house. That's self-defeating and like you're doing a disservice to your kid. Like let's be real, like if you encourage them to go off to college, cool. Let them go off to college, you know, get a good major that you can major in, and you know, something that can be promotable for your business, not business, but something that's promotable and that you can make a living off of, or get the experience, but also like they're working towards something. Don't just kick them out right after high school and be like, oh, figure it out on your own. Or be like, I left home at 16 or 17 or 18 and I figured it out ever since and I'm fine. But look at the economy that we're in. Like, let's be real, you guys. The economy that we're in right now, there's no way that a young person can make it out and just be like, hey, I'm fine without doing scandalous stuff, unless like they're just dedicating to the culture, to the grind. But even with that, what are they grinding at? You don't know. Like, and then that leads our young folks to be impressionable and like, pick up stuff off the streets and like that. That's how you get like, drug dealers and drug lords and gang lords and girls going into like the strip clubs and promiscuity culture and all that. And that's just not cool, like I think if we encourage them to be like, hey, like, I know you need to figure out, like, if you don't have a plan figured out for what you want to do after high school, that's fine. But know that you always have a home with me, like, as your parent, and just encourage that and not rush them to get them out and be like, oh, your 18-year contract is over, get out. No, I think we need to, not even I think, but I know that there needs to be a shift and a change in culture to where we can encourage people, and encourage our youth that you guys can stay as long as you need to figure it out. So whether you need to save money or whether you need to figure out what you're going to do as far as like college or the military or getting a trade or whatever you're going to do, or pouring into business and going off of women, trusting that they'll do it, by all means, let them do it. Let them cook, So I think that's my third thing that I think should change within the Black culture as well. Number 4, I think the excess use of profanity within our culture is not cool. Like, it's a lot of just profanity that we use because there's life and death in the power of the tongue. And I know cussing and everything is very prominent in our culture, and just cultures in general in the world, but does that make it right though? No, it doesn't. And I've been convicted of this too, like, sometimes when I get mad and just like, if I just want to like try to fit in, I sometimes let them loose, but it's just like, that doesn't make it right though. Like, I've been called apart to be someone different, and to, and to know that there is life and death in the power of the tongue, and also that, your what you speak brings life. So if you're being like, oh, F this or F that, or, just letting them loose, you're doing not only a disservice to yourself, but you're doing a disservice to your body. And also, it just shows it kind of have a weak vocabulary. Like, let's expand your vocabulary and like find other words to use so that you can show a certain amount of professionalism, so you don't have to resort to vulgar language. Like, I think that that's heavily prominent within our culture and our music as well, and just how we speak on a day-to-day basis, because sometimes at my job I observe like kids and just conversations and how they just be letting them loose, and I'm just like, dang, like literally every other word, even like the word using like, I noticed that sometimes we use like a lot within our sentences, and I often wonder, can we speak without using the word like a lot? Because I observed a lot of conversations that have like, and it just makes me a little bit frustrated, to be honest with you, that we can't even get a few words out without saying like behind it, or even a few sentences without saying like. So I think that should change within our culture, and we should strive and push toward that change in order to just improve our reading and our literary rate and our vocabulary rate, but also just improve it because what we speak has life and death in the power of the tongue. So I think we should definitely promote stopping vulgar language within our mouths and speaking it into existence. And lastly, what I think should change within our Black community is the ostracization of nerdy things. So whether it be like, dudes or like girls who enjoy like sci-fi or like manga and stuff like that, and saying that it's not cool, and looking down on like nerd culture, or looking down on things that may be obscure towards like Black people, and just ostracizing them. Because I'm sure there's been a lot of people who have been associated and like been called Oreos or pick-me's and stuff like that, but everyone is entitled to what they like. Just because like some people, they may not follow the stereotypical like, just, oh, like, you need to follow this genre of music, you need to watch basketball, football, or like Everybody Hates Chris, or like Wild 'N Out and all that, doesn't mean that they're any less Black than we are. I think that that's honestly doing a disservice to us, because people who are intrigued and thrive within, obscure and like, things that aren't seen as quote unquote Black culture, often are like our entrepreneurs and our businesses and our business owners and our CEOs and our managers, and you may end up working for that. Do you know that phrase to where it's like, oh, you may end up working for like a nerd? That honestly is true. So we shouldn't degrade or like make obscure things like anime or like manga or comics or even music than what we listen, or just because if someone acts different and just be like, oh well, you act white or you don't act black. Okay, like what does acting black mean? Just throwing out vulgar language and promoting hood and rap culture and promoting like degeneracy? Come on, let's be real now. Let's keep it real and have a real conversation. So I think that needs to stop within the black culture, because in black community, because it's just we're doing ourselves a disservice. And being black, it doesn't mean like just pertaining to one typical stereotype and one different type of genre of music, or one typical like type of genre of classification, or just being like, oh, you need to dress hood and you need to wear do-rags or bonnets and everything. But no, being black is your skin color. It's more than that. It's who you are, it's what you represent, it's your ancestry, it's how you walk to day and what you represent, your morals and your values, and what you stand up for and what you believe in. But these are some of the things that I think needs to stop within our black culture, and what the black culture needs to change and shift before it's too late. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys agree with any of the topics that I've said thus far, or if you guys have any disagreements, because I love to hear and know you guys' thoughts, are like, what are your takes on some of these things that I talk about? Have I missed any, or are there some things that you want me to add? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to share this video with your friends so that we may continue to grow into the people that God has called us to be each and every day. Remember, Jesus loves you, and so do I. It's your boy D. Lou signing out. Take care.